Falcon fans, and of course, good old Falcon fans. Oh, and don't forget, Bodie 3 bands.
No way.
Bodie 3000. Bodie.
It's going down in a major way. One time for the fan, Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Amazon Podcast, so much more. Big shout out to Terry here from For My ATL Sports One and One Time for the Fan. Carrie is here talking Falcons football. Bodie 3 bands is here talking Falcons football. How is everybody doing on this amazing Wednesday evening?
Man, I couldn't be better. We got the whole family here, man. Hey, I tell you what, it's going to be a great night, man. I'm just so happy to have Carrie and Bodie in the house.
Especially Bodie. Like, Bodie's here. This is great.
I feel like I'm home, man. I feel like there's some sweet potato pie downstairs just waiting on me, when I get off this podcast, man. Bodie, what's up, man?
I don't know what I'm gonna say on this show. It might get crazy tonight. Family, how y'all doing? I am wonderful. It is great to be back. I never left. I be lurking, but it's good. I feel good today.
Hey, this is a good time to be a Falcons fan. I know for those that are upset that we haven't made the playoffs, I know the Falcons did do something that I know fans have responded to recently, and that is the firing of Jimmy Lake. Of course, defensive line coach Jay Rogers is no longer here with us too as well. But Miss Carrie, that made you smile on that Saturday afternoon. How are you doing today on this Wednesday evening?
I'm happy. I can't complain. The Falcons DC search is in full swing, so no complaints here.
Well, you just mentioned that, and we want to go ahead and talk about that quickly here, Falcon fans, because this is not like Big Little Country's podcast with the emergency Falcon fan meeting, the emergency coaches meeting. This is our, Wednesday night show here for One Time for the Fan. But the news of Jimmy Lake on Saturday, and of course us talking about it on Sunday. Now the Falcons have already got to work of putting some names out there. The defensive coordinator search that could be possibly here in Atlanta in a matter of days or weeks or however long they want to take their search. Terry, these 4 individuals who are set to, well, 3 have already interviewed with the Falcons, but the one that's getting ready to set to interview with the Falcons next week, big name Steve Wilkes too as well. These 4 candidates, man, how do you feel about Lou Amarillo, Wink Martindale, Jeff Ulbrich, and of course Steve Wilkes now being thrown into the mix, man?
I'm a big fan of Jeff Wilkes. I'm sorry.
Sheesh, Jeff Wilkes.
I just, you know what I did? I just crossed. I created a new coach.
Jeff Wilkes.
I merged them.
Are those your 2 favorites? Or?
I merged them. I created. No,
You got him off the floor yesterday.
I know it.
Josh.
I know it. No, I'm a big fan of Steve Wilkes, man. I like him. You know what I mean? I like what he's done with his defenses in the past. I am a big fan of Wink Martindale, which I think that guy was also a host of a TV game show at some point, but I'm dating myself. That's before y'all's time. I'm a big fan of there you go, from way downtown, T-Will. I'm a big fan of Wink Martindale because of what he did with Michigan and their national championship defense. And I know he's called some defenses with the Ravens before, so he's good. I'm a Ranu. Lou, Big Lou. Mm-hmm. We'll call him Big Lou. Let's call him Big Lou because I always butcher his name. Big Lou. Hey, he was with the Bengals when they went to the Super Bowl. So he's got 5 years experience. Definitely a candidate. And Jeff Ulbrich. My only concern with him is that when Saleh left, the defense really took it on the chin. So if you're the defensive coordinator and you're making the secret sauce, then it really shouldn't impact you when Saleh left. Now, there could be some variables, right? Could have been that, the locker room was split. Could have been any number of things. But I'm a little suspicious of a guy who, when the guy who's known for defense, and Robert Saleh is known for defense, leaves, and all of a sudden your defense just goes to, you know what? I'm not sure about that. Those are my thoughts. Carrie? How you
Miss
feel about it?
Carey, defensive
Miss-
coordinator search is underway. I know you're excited about that because we get a new face in the building who can help turn this defense around, get them in the right direction. Carey, how you feeling about this search right now so far? Like it's only like 2-3 days in already, and 4 names have been mentioned here in Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm feeling really good about it. We started out with the news about Lou Onaramu and as well as Wink Martindale. I'm like I mentioned on T-Well's show this morning, I really liked that we are casting a wide net as far as the search. It's not just there's no ties between those two names, at least, to Raheem Morris, which nothing against him, but I do appreciate that we are, broadening our horizons. We're trying to really, be thorough with the search. But yeah, obviously now today was announced that Jeff Ulbrich had an interview today, and obviously he has
Had a
ties.
sneaky little interview too as well. He snuck it in there.
Right.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah, that was just out of nowhere. We all knew that was going to happen, but it was just, he already interviewed. The news came out, but so he obviously has ties to Raheem, and Steve Wilkes was announced yesterday or today that he has an interview next week. So, and he's been trying to. I feel like. I like his persistence. He has been trying to be a part of this Falcons organization since 2021, I believe. In regards to, he tried to get the defensive coordinator
spot with Ryan.
Right, first, and then he didn't get that last year. So then he tried to get the head coaching position, didn't get that, and now he's trying again for the DC position. So I like his persistence, and I think maybe third time could be a charm. We all know that he was at the training camp over the summer. He was there 2 days in a row at one point visiting. That Raheem has spoken highly of him. So if you can't tell, I really like him. So yeah.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Steve Wilkes is a candidate I think that is highly favored here in the Falcons fan base. Carey, the cool thing about these candidates, I think a lot of Falcon fans have mentioned these same names like on Saturday once Jimmy Lake had pretty much, drove all the way up 75 to 265, wherever he's going now. I think he's heading up there to where New York or Virginia or Washington, D.C. Where I think he has a coordinator interview coming up with a colleague.
He's on his way to China. I don't know.
China? Sheesh. I'm out of here. Yes.
I'm kidding. I'm just joking. I don't know.
Hey, as far away from Atlanta as possible.
You don't have to be so nice, kid.
Looking at the Falcons defensive coordinator search, we did talk about it Sunday because some of the names had not really been mentioned by the Falcons. We did talk about it on the Sunday show that just wait for Monday, Falcon fans. You probably will hear some news sometime this week of getting their search underway because, the Falcons were working overtime on Saturday when they let Jimmy Lake go. I was expecting to hear some news Monday or Tuesday. Sure enough, to hear already from Wink Martindale already that they've interviewed, and now Jeff Ulbrich, Lou Onamarillo, and of course Steve Wilkes set for next week. This has me feeling good that they really want to bring in some guys who do have some experience. I think Wink Martindale has been in this game for quite some time, a lot of NFL experience. And of course, like you mentioned, Lou Onamarillo from Cincinnati, who has some ties with Jesse Bates too as well, and Steve Wilkes. I think Falcons fans truly agree. This is a name that they want in the building for accountability, for leadership. Just I mentioned before with the other guys, the NFL experience. And I think some people are trying to get away from that friendly environment that they've had with Raheem and some of the coaches in the past. And that's why the Jeff Ulbrich name for some Falcon fans are like, no, we don't want to have the guy here. He's already been here in Atlanta. But then there are some fans that are kind of expecting the friendly move from Arthur Blank and Raheem Morris that they're going to go bring in the Jeff Ulbrich, a guy that they're very familiar with from in the past. But we'll see here, Falcon fans. I think you have to let the Steve Wilkes interview go through. If they announce the defensive coordinator position without interviewing Steve Wilkes, then I'll be kind of upset. Like, okay, where did this come from? Like, did Steve already have a job somewhere else? But I do think the Steve Wilkes interview will go through pretty well. And like you said, Carey, he was already on the field last year like you posted the picture on Twitter the other day. He was on the field with the Falcons last year, and we joked about it on the podcast Sunday. He was looking at his defense last year. He didn't go to no other team. He could be in a 2-3 year deal right now with the Ravens or the Commanders or the Jet. He was on the sideline for pretty much all of damn near last year.
Right.
But just to be on the field with us, just for those 2 days of training camp. What's up, Carrie?
Can I ask you guys a question? This is for everybody. I'll start with Bodie, since I'm so happy he's here today. But how do you guys feel about Jeff Ulbrich? And we're not being negative here. It's open dialogue. What do we think? For me, it reminds me about bringing back an ex, like giving the ex another chance. For me personally, I don't want to go back to the X. I want something new. This is 2025. This is a new year, new Atlanta Falcons.
She's Carrie. So all your exes in the chat listening, like, well, damn, I guess
right.
That's no deal for me. I'm gonna go ahead and unsubscribe.
Exactly. Yeah. Hit the like button before you leave, though, please.
Sheesh! Wow.
Get him out of here.
But no, seriously, what do you guys think? For me personally, my point of view is maybe it's just the bad taste in my mouth from Jimmy Lake and, the friend, hiring the friend. I understand relationships are important, right? I do. So I get Ulbrich, but at the same time, it just reminds me too much of bringing back an ex that ended not in a good note. I mean, those are not the best times. I don't know. I'm ready for something new, something fresh. So, Bodie, will you go first? I want to know your.
In essence, Raheem Morris is an ex, kind of.
I mean, in
a
way.
Well, technically,
I mean, he was head coach of his team, so
right. It's his first time head coach, and so think of him as like the side piece. Like he was around, but like he never got to be like official. And this time he's official.
Wow.
Sheesh.
I like that.
Wow.
That's it.
So,
diabolical, Carrie.
Wow.
All right, yeah, Jeff Ulbrich. I just really wish the Jets would have rallied behind him more. I mean, I remember what Terry just said. That defense kind of lost his luster a little bit. He doesn't wow me. I figure you get the reins of the Jets, who had a decent defense. You want to put your own sauce on it because you the guy now. And it was like unseasoned chicken. Honestly.
And no one likes unseasoned chicken.
No.
Nobody likes unseasoned chicken.
That's what you've been eating while you was away, Bodie? Unseasoned chicken?
Oh.
You don't see.
Now it begins. Now it
begins.
begins.
Glowing. My skin is glowing.
Now it begins.
All right.
Wow.
You need one of these lights. You see my glasses? You see the light? You need one of these lights.
Wow.
You look like roadkill right now. Anyway.
Wow.
Oh wow. Sheesh.
Getting started shit. Yeah. So I wasn't wild about what Over did over there. Plus, not rally behind. Normally a team will get a interim coach and then they'll start doing a little something different. That coach will start putting his own stuff in there. It just didn't work out for him. So plus he's been here and he's a linebacker coach. It's not that wild moment we need. We need a shot in the ass. We need somebody who, I don't know if we need Wink Martindale. We need a motherfucker who look mean just like Wink Martindale.
Right.
Motherfucker, Wink Martindale was like, had a damn different life. He'll fucking, hey, I told you to goddamn. He looked like that motherfucker. That's what.
It's funny you say that, Bodie, because I literally put out a tweet when we announced that we're interviewing him with a picture of him looking so mean in his Baltimore shirt and hat. And I said he looks like he will kick some beep as soon as the first defender misses a tackle. I like it because he looks mean. He looks.
You were definitely telling
me because Jimmy Lake
demeanor, yeah.
Jimmy Lake was all. He looked like he'll sell me insurance or something. Like,
oh, sheesh.
Jimmy Lake he looked so nice. He was
not
nice and goddamn. Yeah. Maybe State Farm. But he looks so nice in the goddamn. Oh,
We just lost the State Farm sponsors. Falcons fans hit that.
Yeah,
like-
we did.
Yeah, we still got Tito's.
What?
yeah.
We
As
sure
much
do.
as you shout out Tito's,
We sure do.
and Tito's ain't gave you shit. And as much as the
Hey, come on, man.
the Panthers then goddamn gave you them damn, you still ain't replaced them. At least I told you to get a red
Tito's,
Sharpie
reach out to
and
the
cover your
crew.
shit.
Reach
Anyway.
out the one time, man. We're here for you.
Tito's. Hey, good luck. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, I say all that to say, it's not the exciting signing I would look for, but it's so Falcons. It really is.
Oh, Falcons.
It's something we would do. Oh, Holbert, yeah. Oh, we know him. Get somebody you don't know. Let's try something new.
Yeah.
Right. We need something
Please.
new, fresh.
Good Lord, we need a shot in the ass so bad on this team, let alone this defense. Like, we really need to get some fiery. You need somebody out there cussing somebody out, is what I think.
Right.
So, yeah.
I think
God damn,
Bodie's
shut
saying the same thing that
Hey,
is probably
my
being
phone
said.
was like, yo, sounds like you're expressing some frustrations about that last topic. Like, I didn't ask you.
What about you, T. Will?
T Weezy.
Yeah, I'm good on Jeff Ulbrich. Just because it feels like that whole boss's dad, my dad's the boss syndrome, like, oh, you guys better behave. Well, my dad's here, and then dad leaves, and they're like, okay, what you gonna do now? What you gonna like
Like the substitute teacher?
Right. You gotta be a leader of men. And I'm not attacking him. He played the game. He did play football. He has been a coach in this league, but it just bothers me that when Saleh left, that defense just nosedived. That to me says Saleh was running it all along.
To the record,
Let me say,
the morale for the team was that a lot of those Jets players probably figured, hey, look, season's over.
let me say something real quick. Remember last year, I guess they fired, who was it? Was it John Gruden at the Raiders? Did he get fired? Whoever the Raiders coach was. No, it wasn't John Gruden. Whoever the Raiders coach was,
Pierce.
they fired him, and then they hired Pierce.
Antonio Pierce.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Pierce he lit a fire under that team. That's why he got the job.
In
Right.
soccer, we call that a new manager bounce. So I get what you mean. Like they didn't have any new fire.
They were just like, nah, dude, we ain't doing nothing. And like that to me says they never respected you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like they respected when Saleh left, that was it. And I understand, hey, the season may be over, but to me, and I can't get beyond it, that says they didn't respect you. Look, if you're going to be a leader in any industry, you have to get respect for yourself, right? If Jack and I work together and Jack's the supervisor and I'm his assistant and all of a sudden I become the supervisor, I got to lead my way. I can't be Jack. I'm not Jack and Jack's not me. I have to be authentic. But by the same token, these guys need to respect me. And to the extent that they don't, you're going to get this. And that's my issue. So
we got to remember, in my office as a supervisor, I have the picture of the 80 yards on the run, the touchdown, the throw. Behind me where I'm sitting.
I'm just
about
saying,
wearing it out, but I know damn well you can't throw 80 yards. Stop lying to these people for these goddamn subscriptions. They probably unsubscribe when you say that bullshit.
I mean, you know what? He could have done it at one point in his life, Bodie. You know, maybe when he was
fuck out of here.
Hey, if I hit that like, share, subscribe button, Kerry, for the Jeff Ulbrich situation. Like Bodie said, I agree with what 3000 just said. You need a shot to take you to the next level, right? You need something that's going to spark this fan base, spark that defensive room, and
that new thing.
That new thing, I guess. And it looks like the Steve Wilks might be that new thing, I guess.
Oh, wow.
I believe that new thing. You don't want to go back to a situation where you don't want to go back to a situation where you bring in a guy that Falcon fans say, why did we get this guy after hiring Jimmy Lake? I think Steve Wilks is, like I said, he's like a fan favorite to a lot of people here in Atlanta. His time around the NFL, his NFL experience, what he can do with guys like Grady, like Jesse Bates, like AJ Terrell, Caden Ellis, and a couple others, plus going into a position where we need guys on defense. to help us out next year, I think Steve Wilks would be the right person for the job. Outside of Steve Wilks, now here's the funny thing. We mention these names now without knowing that Friday they might have 2 more big name candidates.
Yeah.
That throws into the mix. And then breakfast with One Time for the Fan at 9 a.m. on Friday. Now we're talking about Falcons getting ready to interview X, Y, and Z because they ain't called me yet. Kind of upset. I put my resume in. I told him about what I can do. Ed Reed got the
you
position.
On offense or you defense?
I can play defense too. I play a little safety too here and there, and I can help out. At times. All right. So
that explains why no one has called you ever.
Wow.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, subscribe. But Kerry, you need a spark to get this fan base going. If it's Jeff Ulbrich, fans will quickly question the decision making from the leadership.
Respectfully, as they should. I mean, just saying. It's very 2020-ish.
Yeah.
Very 2020-ish, in the back of Raheem and I support Raheem, but you get what I mean. We're 2020, Raheem and Jeff Ulbrich.
I mention this?
I think they're going to interview some more people. I just really want them. I really want them to go into that Steve Wilks interview saying this can really be a guy to help us in our future here in Atlanta. Not those 1-year deal defensive coordinators. We need a guy here that's going to be here for a couple years to really get this defense over the hump, especially with Grady and AJ Terrell, being the veterans here on this team. But a lot of these coaches that we're interviewing, they've also had problems in the past. Let's not just look at the pros and not the cons too as well. Wink Martindale didn't have problems. I think he got fired with Brian DeBoer. Who else? Lou Amarillo got fired from the Bengals. Anybody you mentioned then had problems. Raheem Morris, before he got the job, had problems. Everybody's been through this. So I know we talk about the good things. Just know that these coaches, even Steve Wilks, has had some problems in the NFL. We just hope that when they come here to Atlanta, they can fix what we have going on because the defense really could have won us maybe 2 of those games that we could have had last year. And it's kind of disappointing. But yeah, that's just where I stand on that with the Jeff Ulbrich situation. But I'm glad the Falcons already hit the ground running this week. Right. We have playoff football this weekend with teams that we're watching from the couch. But the teams that damn near, thought they were going to get to the Super Bowl, the Bucks, they got beat. Vikings, they got beat. Brian Flores.
Wow.
What is their record? What's the Vikings record?
14-3, I believe.
They got torched.
Sam Darnold turned into a pumpkin.
He's out of there. Scary. You going in? It has nothing to do with the Vikings playing in Arizona. People playing in Arizona. If it was in LA, it would have never happened. They got torched.
He lost himself millions of dollars. That's all.
They lost to a veteran quarterback that knows the game very well, Matthew Stafford. Matter of fact, I'm looking at this Saturday thinking them Rams might go in there and beat the Eagles.
Especially if Jalen Hurts keeps playing like he's playing. Like that. They gotta tighten that up. Huh?
I think he's hurt. Hurts is hurt.
He could be.
No pun intended.
No, he could be. You're right.
Let's just say Flores was the one to hit the market randomly. Then what do you say? Damn, Brian Flores?
I don't know that he and Raheem would mix.
You don't think they'll mix?
I don't see
and that. Plus, and think about it. They went 12-3. They're a good team. They have no reason to fire him because they were good 90% of the season. Most of the time. So I don't see Flores losing.
I think if you put the top 3 candidates out of the list that we have so far, Wilks, and he's yet to be interviewed, but Wilks, Lou, and then Wink.
Let me guess. Y'all against Dennis Allen?
I'm not.
Oh damn, Dennis Allen! Oh, come on, Bodie. What are you doing, Bodie? Where'd that come from?
I'm so glad.
Where'd that come from? A fan on the field. Get security. Got a streaker on the field. Where did that come from?
I don't give a shit. He's not a part of that organization right now.
I'm going to do something that's kind of maybe I'm dropping a bomb, but out of all the names we mentioned, if you add Dennis Allen into that mix, which one has been the best defensive coordinator? Besides maybe Wink, you could say. I think he's the one.
I feel like this is a rhetorical question that Kerry already knows the answer to. Hence rhetorical. I know.
I want you to say it because I don't want to be the one praising a former.
I mean, look at Dennis Allen has been. Dennis Allen has been he's been a good D coordinator. My problem. I'm a culture guy.
I already know what you're gonna say.
I'm a culture guy, right?
Yeah.
And if your players do not respect you to the point that they run a play like that on the last play of the game, they're essentially telling you, "Kiss my ass," like that. And I again, that makes me wonder, how did it get to this point, right? Say what you want to about Sean Payton, who is a noted asshole, a special kind of asshole, an extreme asshole, but the man has respect, right?
Yeah.
So he leaves the keys to Dennis, and what the hell happened? And it gradually
Sean Payton was petty as hell, though. I know you said respect, but he was petty as hell at times. He knew what he was doing.
I don't like Sean Payton,
and it was against us. You know that
he knows what he's doing at times.
I don't like Sean Payton, I'm not. This is not a Sean Payton. Give him his flowers. I'm just saying, Dennis Allen lost respect on that team, and you gotta wonder why, right? Because I don't want him in my franchise if he can't maintain respect. I'm sorry, guys. Yes, he's been a great defensive coordinator.
Not a good.
But again, was that I'm a great defensive coordinator because I got Daddy behind me. You know what I mean? Because Daddy gonna make y'all get in line. Daddy gonna make y'all. But when Daddy leaves, what happens? Now it's just me and y'all.
I mean, but to put it into context, wasn't that the very last game of the season? They were trying to get his homeboy the touchdown that he did. He needed the touchdown. I feel like it was all Jameis Winston. The coach, I mean, he kind of went against the coach, but that was Jameis Winston.
I feel like if they faced a team, any other team, it could have happened. The same thing could have happened to that team. It just so happened to be us. You think they was like, oh, those are Falcons. I hate them. Let's stick it to them. Here, bro, let me go get you your touchdown.
Kerry, if that had been my high school coach, somebody would have been spitting some tea. I'm just saying, like,
I get
at the end of the day, if we don't have respect, we don't have anything.
Now,
I don't disagree, Terry. I don't.
You know what I mean?
I just think he's not a good head coach. What I like is that he's proven twice now he's not a good head coach. I don't think he's going to be getting a chance again anytime soon, but he's proven that he is a very good defensive coordinator. So for me, I want stability at the coordinator position. I'm tired. I'm literally that meme. I'm tired because I think we've had 4 defensive coordinators in the last 5 years. I want stability at the position. So for me, I know he could do his job well, and I know to the point where he's not getting a promotion to a head coach, though, because people know how that went already twice.
That's
the thing you mentioned is stability. Of course, with a guy like Steve Wilks, you can definitely get that. With Raheem's situation of bringing in Buddy Jimmy Lake last year, like Bodie had mentioned, you got to give fans that wow moment, and you can hit them quickly before the damn Super Bowl even hits. A lot of teams already started getting their coaches together after their interview process. Falcons can wow the fan base at any moment next week by saying we've hired Steve Wilks as our defensive coordinator. I know somebody wanted to comment too as well. Yeah, Bodie?
Yeah, I got a quick question. So you mentioned Buddy Steve, whatever his name is, Jimmy Lake. I can't even think his name. He don't even matter. You mentioned Buddy Jimmy Lake, right? So do you ever think the Falcons as a whole, as a franchise, would break that buddy mold, that draft? We only draft, team captains mold. That he's my friend. Oh, we know him. We're looking out for him. We're gonna get him a job because he's cool. He's been here before, or we know him, or we've been on another staff with him, or whatever. You think that's like a Falcons? You remember when Rod was speaking about Falcons ethos and shit? Remember he kept saying ethos for no fucking reason. All ethos this, ethos that. The ethos of this team has been they stuck by a standard, and I respect somebody sticking by a standard of just hiring good people, like drafting really good people. Just kind good people.
Them dogs.
Look, I've watched so many drafts, like They talk about so he's a great person. He's a good people. But the damn talent ain't there.
Right.
The talent ain't there. We're bringing in these bums. They're great people.
Exactly.
But they're bums. Let's
How's
be
that
real.
for us? Honestly,
Hey, remember I said in the other chat now
That's
they're
my
bums when they
question.
leave the
That's my
Falcons, not
question.
when they're on the
Do
Falcons.
we ever deviate?
no.
No, it's not even bashing us, and it's not a bad philosophy. I'm not bashing the Falcons for this, but do we ever deviate from that philosophy to just go get a good goddamn player? Like, go get that guy. He's a monster on the field. He should be in the first round, but he slipped to the third. But we ain't drafting him because he don't fit our ethos. Like, do we ever bunk that? Like, what do you guys think? Are we ever gonna get past that, or is just Arthur Blank thing?
Terry?
Anybody?
Yeah, I think Arthur runs a culture of stand-up guys, and you're going to give back to your community, and that just does not align with. Yeah, this guy went out at 2:00 in the morning, got in a bar fight, and tried to outrun some cops at 3 in the morning, and
You could have skipped school in the
on his-
6th grade.
on
You're
his
not going to end
his
up here.
mug shot was giving him the double bird. Like I don't see that. To be honest, I think this is the Bible Belt that is aligned with most Atlanta sports franchises. If you look at the Braves, if you look at the Hawks, if you look at the Falcons, they do not deal with nonsense. They really don't. And anybody who is outside of that template, right? Outside of that cookie cutter good guy, they get him out of here quick.
Mm-hmm.
So
I only work for one team though.
Huh?
And you know what team it is? It's only worked for one of those Atlanta teams. You know which one.
You talking about the Braves?
Yes. Just that.
Braves took a
Yeah, I
chance.
They won
mean,
a championship with it.
look it. I mean, the thing about that, honestly, is you got to have guys that can manage that, right? Like George Pickens is a very
even
talented,
Kirby Smart brings in head cases.
yeah, but Kirby's the difference between that, even though you have the NIL, to a certain extent, you still have control, right? These are young men. So to the extent that they want to get out of line, you can just kick them off. You understand, Kirby probably kick off about 5 dudes a year off his team.
He bring them in, but he do kick them out. You're right.
He does kick them out, right? So I wouldn't want George Pickens on my team. Great receiver.
Neither do I.
But head case.
I don't hate that.
You know what I mean? I would not want AB.
But
I wouldn't want AB on my team. Not the past 10 years,
Here,
AB.
you go.
I would not want him on my team. I would not.
Okay.
Great receiver, but total head case, right?
with you, I'm not a fan of George Pickens, but for me, he's proven he got that opportunity, right? He got drafted. He's at the Steelers. He got the opportunity to go to a team and maybe make the change. For me, I'm with Bodie in the sense I totally think you're both right, but I'm with Bodie in the sense that we need to make a change. I mean, honestly, I totally get it. You don't want any, Falcon player to tarnish the look, any, bad media. You also want guys that are stand-up guys, are going to be good examples in the community and give back to the community. And, they're not going to be, making headlines for terrible things like, some like Raiders players or something. But for me, I feel like if you're looking at the NFL draft and you see a player that's like literally he's going to be a franchise player and he's like a beast, like this guy is like one of one, but he has a little bit of issues, character issues, character concerns. But for me, you take a chance on a player like that because they're still young enough, how you mentioned in college, you can mold them. You could still mold somebody who's just coming out of college, especially if they're just coming into the, NFL as a rookie. It's a whole new world. And for me, especially a place like Atlanta where we have so many stand-up guys at this point, so many veteran leaders like a Grady Jarrett, like AJ Terrell, all these players that you've been mentioning, we have so many leaders in our team and stand-up, God-fearing men. I feel like would be the perfect place for somebody who, maybe has a little bit of character concern and needs a good guidance and a good role model. We have that. So I feel like you should not pass on somebody that is a one-of-one talent that could change your franchise for the better just because they, maybe made some dumb mistakes in college, because who hasn't, honestly?
Totally agree. Sorry, buddy, don't want to cut you off there. I'm just on the side of you got these players that's coming out of college, and the Falcons do want to lead this. they want to show this role that they don't want to bring in any kids or don't want to bring in any young folks that's going to be out there causing trouble in the Falcons organization, or of course in the locker room, on the sidelines, on the field. And we've seen that from every single player the Falcons pretty much have brought in, I think, since Matt Ryan's era around that time. I think the Julio thing was like the biggest thing that kind of had the fan base like, whoa, this is unacceptable. A player is speaking to Shannon Sharpe on national TV. This is supposed to be in-house. And that's what kind of shocked some people. And you see some former players speaking out now. Of course, now, they don't play with the Atlanta Falcons, but when they go into this draft room this year, it does take the right person to get people to respond to them. And maybe Steve Wilkes could be the guy. Maybe Lou Amaru could be the guy, because there was a one time at my job where, we said some things 5-6 years ago. We put some suggestions in place and nobody wanted to, put them in place. And years later, when we put it in place, things started to work out. So sometimes it's all about, different timing. The voice who's also leading that room, which I think a guy like Steve Wilkes can also say, hey, look, I can do well with this guy. You guys see what my track record is in the past defensively. We needed to draft this guy. We need to get this guy. Plus, there's some NFL players right now that's going to be free agents this year. I think the Falcons can look at that are some dogs, on and off the field that, that can help bring a championship to this team. It's about that culture. Terry, you also said it too as well. They don't want to be that group out here, showing like we got players that's going to be, headaches or problems. They don't want to be the bad boy Falcons. Like, we live a pretty clean lifestyle here in Atlanta as a Falcon fan. And that's how they kind of roll at the organization. They don't, they try to keep everything in-house, right? Even if a player is feeling upset, they probably have like 5 or 6 people to call before you call the media, right? Don't just speak out on Twitter, right? Don't just go in. I haven't even heard a Falcon really say that. CP was a guy that was really vocal, and fans would, tweet CP and say, hey, CP, could you, X, Y, and Z, because they'll ask CP questions, he might respond. At the end of the year, it was kind of funny to see CP respond to fans and say, the Falcons don't want me. I saw one of those comments too as well, where I'm like, whoa, shit, this is a player who's going into contract year and he's responding on Twitter saying the Falcons don't want him. I can tell you right now, that doesn't sound like he's going to be back in the building if you're tweeting like that, right? So that's like a huge no-no right there. And of course, contract situation, whatever they wanted to do, they went a different way. And then you saw the Steeler game when they lost to the Ravens. He went to Twitter and said, I guess I'll shovel snow because they don't need me. Right. So maybe he was at that point in his time where the Falcons didn't need a CP.
You're talking about CP, right?
Yeah, for CP. Because after his year, he tweeted out, because fans were like, CP, are you coming back? Are you coming back? We need you at Raheem.
I want Eric Parker in the chat. He said we need some gang members.
Shit, that's some gang members. Gosh, need some thugs. Hey, it's just a new culture that you can get with a new leader, right? I think where my guy X just said it in the chat, right? He said true defense needs a leader, right? And it could be Steve Wilkes, it could be Lou, it could be Wink Martindale, but you don't want a guy that's going to come in there on a 1-year deal, don't get the amount of sacks that we expected, don't lift this defense like we expected, and then what? He's getting fired the year after. Raheem's on the hot seat. Terry's on the hot seat. And here we go again with fans in the chat saying, you guys said this and you guys said that. We ain't doing no finger pointing. We just want to see the best coach selected for the Atlanta Falcons defensive head coach position. That's defensive coach position. That's it.
I think we need a respected asshole.
Shit. And I mean, we'll get a Rex Ryan.
Listen. I mean an asshole as in, like, he'll tell it like it is. He gonna let you know what's wrong with you. But, he love you at the end of the day, but he gonna whip you into shape. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gonna let you know. Like, I know that, those other players, the players I'm thinking about that went to other teams like the Steelers. Of course, it didn't work out for Pickens. I think Pickens went to the Steelers because they have a respected head coach like Tomlin, even though he's just still doing what the hell he's doing. That's just his problem. It ain't a Tomlin problem. And Tomlin will probably get his ass out of there. Don't be surprised if he gets traded this offseason. He's crazy. Or somebody like respected as Andy Reid, just a respected ass nice coach like Andy Reid, or a respected another asshole like Bill Belichick was. Like somebody like that.
Anybody know what Mike Smith is doing right now?
Mike Smith, I don't know if he was respected or an asshole.
We already had Arthur
Smith. Like he was a nice guy. He just seems like he's just a wonderful guy to just go golf with. That's the type of guy he's like. But I love Mike Smith. He's probably the winningest coach in Falcons history. But yeah, I think that's the thing. Even now, like our head coach is so nice. He's just so, our offensive coordinator. He looked like, like he the same thing. And we need
everybody's
defensive
for school,
coordinator.
Hey, Bodie, we're gonna go for another nice guy.
Bodie wants to wake up and see the defensive coordinator has been arrested for DUI and all this other stuff. Like, God damn, you got to coach tomorrow, don't he?
I mean, he's one of those coaches like Sarkisian was over here drinking.
Two players fighting at Magic City over wings. Like, what the hell is going on?
Give me till Friday morning show, and I'll do a background check on all our DC candidates and see who has been arrested, who's been to prison, who's gotten into fight.
And it's funny because even as a fan, or somebody who lives in Atlanta, like you don't hear about the players in the clubs like that. Like somebody would be next to Jesse Bates. If you're there sitting next to Bijan, Jesse Bates, and these NFL players at a strip club, don't you think somebody's gonna pull out their phone and be like, "Yo, look who's up in here"? Like that's how people will kind of rat people out. I haven't seen that from the Falcon players. It's kind of like after practice, go home, be with your family, enjoy the night. We'll see how I practice tomorrow. But I've seen other cities where them players, man, them players out. They out.
Yeah, they probably got somebody at the club taking folks' phones, man.
Yacht parties and all. They out. They out there.
These are grown men. I'm not gonna say they don't participate in that, bro. They just
honestly.
I'm sure they do, but you don't hear about the stories about this player.
That's what I'm saying.
4 in the morning. And remember the situation. What's the Braves player who got arrested? Who got pulled over? Azuna. Didn't he have some problems on and off the field too as well?
He did.
Yeah, he has
one of the series though.
He got it together.
Yeah,
But
he fixed his life.
Anybody who plays football or coaches football that he hangs out with.
what was it? Wasn't there a Falcons coach a couple of years ago that got pulled over for DUI?
Wasn't it Sarkisian?
No, I don't.
Wasn't there a Falcon player a couple times ago that went to go talk to a girl on the side of the street the night before the Super Bowl? And I'm sorry, that's
that's the Bishop. You talk about the Bishop.
Let's get old Eugene Robinson. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We just talking about the defensive coordinator. I think everybody's hyped and excited about the defensive coordinator search. The names that have been thrown out, you really have to look at it and say the Falcons are in for somebody who has experience. Jeff Ulbrich has been in this league quite some time. Lou has been in this league quite some time. Steve Wilkes, of course, he's his resume too as well. And then Wink Martindale. Kerry posted his picture on Twitter. He's a mean guy. Even hearing about him talk about the drip chain, the players asked him to wear the chain around his neck or something because they want him to drip. He has like a $200,000 like herringbone chain he had around his neck, right? So he tells the players, "You guys go get an interception. I'll wear the chain because I ain't gonna wear the chain unless you guys are doing your work on the field." So. I mean, he wants to mess around and hang out with the players and, be that cool coach, but he seems like a guy who wants to get after it too as well. The blitz packages you heard from Wink Martindale, from his resume, of course, from Steve Wilkes. You have some guys that I think they want to get to that quarterback. And if you bring Steve Wilkes in here, we're talking about maybe 30, 40 sacks with some of these guys, even more.
Well,
right? So
I ask you guys a question. I didn't really think about this until our friend of the podcast, Scott Karusik, tweeted this out.
Shout out, Scott.
I was like, no way. Yeah, shout out to Scott. He said that Steve Wilkes was really only a defensive coordinator, maybe one full season. Is that true? Because I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that then. He was like a defensive backs coach mostly. I was starting to look it up, and it seems like that might be true. So even though he's been around the league for a long time, I don't know that he has a lot of DC experience. But he does have a lot of NFL coaching experience.
We can say the same about Wink Martindale. I mean, to an extent, he was at Baltimore for like one season, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I think he was at Baltimore 12 years, right?
You have him as a defensive backs coach with the Chicago Bears, 2006. Defensive backs coach. He was also secondary
coach
with the Panthers.
Right? Let me
double check. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but are you checking up? Check Steve Wilkes, because I was like, no way. Like, I was very surprised about that.
Yeah, he has a lot of knowledge being a defensive assistant.
Okay.
Of course, secondaries back coach, defensive backs coach.
So I didn't realize that until Scott put that out there. I don't know why I thought he was a DC for many years, but he said his picks are Lou or Martindale as the DC, and then maybe a senior defensive assistant as Steve Wilkes or Jeff Ulbrich. So I'm like, okay.
I think Jeff Ulbrich. The funny thing about these guys, outside of Lou and probably Wink, I mean, Steve I can see getting a defensive coordinator job somewhere else. Jeff Ulbrich might be going for like a head coaching or defensive coordinator job somewhere else too. But I think Wink and Lou will stay in that defensive coordinator role. Which is good for us because we need somebody in that position right now.
So
yeah,
Ulbrich is not getting a head coach job.
Nah. Hey, Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. Got to wrap it up a couple minutes early here for tonight. But Friday morning, breakfast at one time for the fan. We will be back talking Falcons football. More about the Falcons defensive coordinator search. We get a chance to go into 2025 season with the Atlanta Falcons, looking at their upcoming opponents, because a team just announced today that they will be playing in Germany to open the season. And it's funny because the Atlanta Falcons played that team on the road. So that will be interesting to see if the Falcons will be selected for that. We'll talk about that on Friday morning. And, of course, we'll have some good times with some Falcon fans who's going to be up that early. Breakfast with one time for the fan. My boy Dwayne Ruffin said breakfast is back. Breakfast with one time for the fans starts at 9 a.m. Make sure y'all in here having a good time talking Falcons football. Mr. Bodie 3000. Quick show tonight, man, Bodie. I know we're glad to have you back here in 2025. Happy New Year to you too, sir. By the way. Seriously. Glad to have you back here on One Time for the Fan. Of course, you know, you have you mentioned Bodie's Best too as well earlier to us. I mean, you have a lot going on. It's just glad to have your knowledge grace us on this show here for fans that know you from the past, for fans that don't know you now as they see you here on the podcast. Let everybody know about Bodie 3000 and give us your shout outs, brother.
Yes, all glory to God. You know, just grateful for life, grateful for being, you know, in right mind and body and spirit. Shout out to all you guys. Welcome and a big welcome back. I plan on being on, you know, some more shows, especially the draft. The draft is like my favorite part of the off season. I love covering the draft because there's so many opportunities. I feel like I didn't know a lot of the players in the draft last year, but I know so many players in this draft. So I can't wait to get my hands dirty with that. So shout out to that. I did shout y'all out. Thank everybody. Yeah, man, just happy to be here. Just keep it.
We're happy you're back. For sure.
Truly happy.
We are happy you're back.
Honestly.
Because now I don't know who's gonna finish the
Lisa A1 from day one. You know, nobody hears your bad joke, but Lisa's an A1 from day one, man. Shout out Lisa.
Lisa Stafford.
Miss Carrie in the One Time for the Fan. Your shout outs for tonight. Of course, we had a chance to talk some about the Falcons defensive coordinator search. Friday morning we'll be back talking more Falcons football. If you'll be with us, that would be great. If you can't make it, then of course we'll definitely see you either in the chat or Sunday night for One Time for the Fan, again, another podcast. Carrie, your shout outs.
I should be there Friday morning. I'm gonna try my best to be there because I'm on a streak. Ask T. Will.
Oh, you turned up right now. You turned up.
You're rolling.
T. Will hit me up earlier. He was like, "Yeah, you think we can get Carrie for like 10 shows?" Like, Carrie is busy, sir. Super busy.
2025 is different. I'm trying to be all up in the mix. I've been
love it.
For my
love it.
One.
She's tired of being on the sidelines.
Love it.
You want the whole piece.
Put her in the game, coach. Put her in the game.
I'm just trying to keep myself busy so I don't just dwell on the end of the season, and I'm just trying to be happy and look forward to the future in 2025. So, yeah. So shout out to everybody here. Bodie, I'm so happy you're back. Shout out to you, T. Will and Jack. Shout out to everyone in the chat. There were so many people in here. We didn't even get to read all the comments. So shout out everybody that was talking to us in the chat. And I hope everybody's happy and healthy. And thank you for joining us tonight.
Hey, Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. The show is definitely growing, man, with all the support we've been getting from all the Falcon fans. Thank you so much. During the season, now in the off season, this has just been great. We're going to be here talking Falcons football pretty much forever, man. We love talking Falcons football with everybody. So One Time for the Fan would be here from the fan for the fan, as you know it, going on a very long time. T. Will, for my ATL Sports, man. Talk to us, man. Give us a shout out. So we'll be back Friday morning. Breakfast One Time for the Fan.
I hear that.
Pepper.
Well, hey, man. Glad to be here. You know, everybody in the chat who joined us could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be with us, so we have to thank you for that. We do this for and because of you, and hey, you guys keep coming back, so you make it worth it all the time. Gotta thank God. Look, he woke me up this morning, continues to be good to me, continues to get me out of stuff, man. I could tell y'all stuff I won't because we don't have time, but God is an awesome God, and if you don't know him, you need to get to know him. With that being said, what up? What up, Manuel? You can find me at the number 4, my ATL Sports, the number 1 on YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe. As I'm just a little humble dude out here podcasting, need all the subscribers I can get. With that being said, I can be seen here Sunday nights at 8, Wednesday nights at 8, and Friday mornings, which you're going to have a great time. Carrie, you coming back Friday morning?
God willing, I'll be there.
Amen. And Bodie, we'd love to see you, brother. But Friday morning, 9 a.m. For my ATL Sports 1, you can see me just about every day. It's 10 a.m. on Monday morning. It's 8 a.m. Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Wednesday morning, and Friday morning at 8 a.m. Probably a Friday evening show. And I'm going to do a Thursday evening show tomorrow with some Bills fans. That'll probably be recorded, but I will release it. And hey, man, again, got to thank Jack and my brother Eric Parker for getting me in this business. Also want to shout out to Alex Stud and his brother Ron, as they actually, that was the first podcast I was on about a year ago. They gave me my shot. And I've been thanking Eric and Jack, and I forgot all about them. So I'm sorry, guys. But hey, that's it. Jack, it's on you, sir.
Hey, shout out to Bodie 3000. Shout out to Miss Carrie. Shout out to T. Will. One Time for the Fan for my ATL Sports. T. Will, you mentioned all those scheduled shows you have coming up, and I'm thinking, damn, T. Will, do you sleep? But he's
bring that up where he's podcasting. I was crying laughing.
Oh, we're gonna get on the Friday morning. I got time for that. But this is great just to talk Falcons football with everybody. Like Carrie mentioned, so many comments here in the chat that we couldn't get to. With the show, like I said, growing and everybody really enjoying the content, we're going to definitely do our best we can to get to all the comments and respond to even Friday morning show. We might just say F it, talk about the defensive coordinator for a little bit, and then go straight to just the comments because you guys are just so great in the chat. Also the giveaway too as well. Friday morning we'll go over that so that you guys can find out who can win the giveaway.
Jack, can I plug a giveaway right quick?
You can, go ahead.
So, everyone in the chat, I'm at 163 subscribers. If you guys can get me to 200, the lucky person that does is getting a Falcons jersey. And I'm not talking about one of those Walmart jerseys either. I'm talking about a primo quality Falcons jersey.
I have to ask you, can I unsubscribe and subscribe?
No, you cannot. You know what?
I'm thinking, right, Bodie? You were thinking
You
the same
cannot.
thing.
You cannot.
All
Sorry.
right, well then I'm gonna make like 10 channels. So
You know what? Honestly, Carrie, I tried that, and YouTube knows.
oh, okay.
Like that, I've tried everything in the book because I'm desperate for subs. Because I'm just a little old dude out here trying to do what I do. But no, I mean, if like let's say you have 5 accounts, it'll take the first one. After that, it'll take it, and then you go back the next day, and it's
So you're
they
telling me I
verified it.
can't work the system to win a jersey? Okay, fine.
Nah,
Well,
sorry.
to everyone in the chat, then please
Can't.
subscribe for
Can't. But hey, man,
Timo's channel.
Falcon
you know
fans,
what?
hit that like.
I probably
share,
should have thought about that before I put that out there. I may need to come up with another.
We can edit it here on one time so he can be ready for it on former ATL Sports 1. But for those that have subscribed, I'm sure Terry appreciates the support.
Yes, I
Here at
do.
One Time for the Fan, we appreciate the support. So
Yes, I do.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. One Time for the Fan, from the fan, for the fan. We're out, y'all. See y'all Friday morning. Breakfast with